Welcome to the subreddit sagas, where we will be talking about a story in Tales from the Front Desk. The story is titled, A Tale of Two Firings by Count Night Auditor. My coworker Elle was a pain to work with. She wasn't fired for fraternizing with guests, whether it was the ones I mentioned previously, or an older married man a different time. She wasn't fired for not doing pre-check-ins for 3 months, or for messing up pre-check-ins of third-party reservations, where the third party was only paying for the room and tax. She wasn't fired for being more than an hour late multiple times, nor for being a half hour late when she slept at our sister property next door in order to cover the AM shift. She wasn't fired for the week she wrongly canceled 2 reservations, including one where the room and tax was paid for entirely using rewards points. According to management, she cost us $500 that week. She wasn't even fired when she got caught using the guest room bathrooms during her shift, though it put complaints about used and unflushed toilets in the rooms in a new light. Management made it clear they'd accommodate her if she had some issue with the lobby restroom once they found out, just not let her use the guest rooms for it. So I heard they were looking to get rid of her, but they just weren't doing so. Firing number 1. Elle's downfall was instead the Christmas gift that came late. A day or two after the hotel's holiday party, several members of the staff came down with COVID, including yours truly. The room inspector, kind of a step up from regular housekeeping but below housekeeping manager, was also struck with COVID. They borrowed someone from the sister property to come over and take over those duties while she was out. I was back on duty before New Year's Eve, when I was scheduled to come in an hour early so that Elle could have more time to herself. My front desk manager told me upon relieving me that first morning back that Elle had been talking with the temporary inspector about all the people out sick. Elle told her that she was planning to call out sick for New Year's Eve to take the night off. The temporary inspector was a friend of the GM and let her in on the plan. The FDM knew as well, and we were all keeping quiet to see if she would actually try it. I showed up to work on New Year's Eve to find my FDM covering the desk. Elle tried to call off and was told to speak with the GM. They transferred her over, and the GM confronted her with what we all knew. Elle's excuse? I was just telling her that to see if I could trust her. The GM pointed out that she was still calling in and doing it. Elle was given 2 options: work the shift she was scheduled for, or find a new job. The interregnum, yes, it's a word. Even while she was gone, I still had problems to fix from Elle's time there. For instance, during one of her last days of work, she had pre-checked in a guest and then somehow had trouble finding the reservation. When he came to check in, she made him a whole new reservation and never did anything about the other that was already in-house and authorized for the stay. He was charged twice because of her. However, my FDM was having trouble with our breakfast attendant too. When we'd lost our last attendant, the sister property was glad to part with this attendant to help us out. There were a few months there she came in an hour late, and that meant I had to get breakfast ready. It wouldn't have been so bad if I didn't have to spend an extra hour every night cleaning up what she didn't clean very well. The FDM couldn't cover the PM shift and the breakfast shift if she got rid of both Elle and the attendant. In order to prepare for firing the attendant, she brought back Elle but never let the attendant go. We did end up with more staff for the desk before long, so when the sister property needed someone for their desk, we let them borrow Elle. Firing number 2. They had issues with Elle over there too. She nearly caused the front desk to fail the yearly inspection, so they were looking for something to get rid of her for. That something came with some locals who were staying at that hotel after their home suffered a fire damage. It's common in our city to have a local deposit. It's a once per reservation $200 deposit that locals get back if they haven't trashed the room. We would sometimes get some leeway on not charging it if we were pretty sure the guests weren't going to cause a problem. For some reason, every time these people extended their stay, someone was authorizing another $200 hold. It got to the point where they had more than $1,000 tied up in this, and the sister hotel couldn't get any more authorization for room and tax. I don't know if Elle had anything to do with that. What I know is she locked them out of their room for her shift one day because of the lack of authorization and didn't inform anyone else on staff about it until their auditor showed up. That hotel's GM blew up when she heard about Elle making a couple whose house had burned up sit on the curb all day because of this mistake. Elle never even tried to contact a manager about it. The GM fired Elle on the spot. Last I heard, she was hired by another of the same brand of hotel in the same city. It's been a long time since she was the one to call for our rates and availability, so I think she lost that one as well. Thanks for watching Subreddit Sagas. If you enjoyed this Tales from the Front Desk story, like and subscribe for more. Share your thoughts and suggest future stories in the comments. Stay tuned for our next saga as we continue exploring Reddit's fascinating narratives. See you in the next video!